Shiv Tattva. Author Yugtulsi Padma Bhushan Param Pujya Dr. Shri Ramkinkarji Maharaj. Chapter 3, Reverence and Penance. Parvati is instructed to do penance to attain Lord Shiv. Penance is necessary for reverence. When the intellect doesn't have desires for pleasure, then only it can obtain the pious form of reverence. Gradually, it shuns the pleasures considered to be important for the body. On the other hand, Lord Shiv is self-engrossed. After Satiji left her body, Shivji becomes detached outwardly. He is self-fulfilled, hence he doesn't need any interaction. But the world needs him. Without reverence, faith becomes self-engrossed and inactive. In the absence of reverence, the inspiration to create is impossible to exist in faith. But this creation is necessary for the well-being of the world because Tarkasur has defeated all the deities. The deities are now devoid of happiness and prosperity. तारकु असुर भयउ तेहि काला भुज प्रताप बल तेज विशाला ते सब लोक लोकपति जीते भय देव सुख संपत्ति रीते. Who is this Tarkasur? He is the faithless doubt arising in the society and in a person's life. The virtues are present before the deities through which one attains happiness and prosperity. But a time also comes in the life of society and the man when doubt attacks on beliefs and takes control of the life. Then the power and attribute of our life goes in vain while existing just for the namesake. It is hence natural that in this situation the power produced by the union of reverence and faith kills the doubt represented by Tarkasur and can bring back the happiness and prosperity of the society. In the intellect of the existence, who has been given the name Brahma, an inspiration arises that by any means marriage of Shiv Parvati should take place. But what is the way out for it? Invoking of desire, there is no inclination towards any action without desire. It is an accepted principle. Hence, when desire creates lust in Shiv's heart, only then it is possible that Shiv will give up his introversion and accept Parvati, and only then the destruction of Tarkasur will happen. But there is an ideology contrary to this ideology which is more powerful and of greater importance. The question is that where desire or lust is in the root of the union of reverence and faith, will it be complete or absolute? Will there be stability in it? Goswamiji presents its answer in a very touching manner in Manas. It can be said in a general way that Kam is successful in his attempt, although the destruction of his own body is shown in this effort. But by writing one more story before this, Goswamiji gives some other signal. Lord Ram has appeared in front of Shiv even before Kam and has requested him to accept Parvati, and Shiv has also accepted it by taking it as the Lord's order. कह शिव यद्यपि उचित अस नाही नाथ वचन पुनि मेटि न जाहि. In the support of this marriage, the Lord has narrated the pious character of Parvati. The union of reverence and faith is needed, but how will it happen? This question has two answers. First, inspiration from calm, or second, inspiration from Ram. The answer of Manas is clear. Faith is the enemy of calm. Shiv is Kamari. That reverence and faith which is needed in devotion cannot be influenced by desire or lust. Faith inspired by calm can only be an illusion of faith. Calm is full of situations of ups and downs. It has an equally powerful downhill force as is the strong upsurge. The faith based on it also cannot be consistent. Normally, the interpretations in which the word faith is used in the society are exactly like this. We pretend to be trustful, being inspired by some specific desire. In outer conduct too, we exhibit the matching behavior like an impersonator. But what is the outcome? That faith, whether it is for God or some pious personality, keeps on changing. The adverse reaction immediately takes place when the fulfillment of the desire is hindered. But in spite of fulfillment of the desire, new desires keep surfacing. We want so much in return of our faith that is impossible. Eventually, this faith will surely go back. The nature of faith in Manas can remove this misunderstanding if we can adopt the underlying indications with profoundness. Then, what purpose is achieved through calm? Was his undertaking completely useless, which he took upon on Brahma's inspiration? Was Brahma unaware of this truth which is mentioned above? Its answer is no. Brahma's intention was even clearer. Brahma is the creator of the world. Calm is his primary power in creation of that world. For creation, the union which is needed has calm as the inspiration. That is why in the verses of marriage, the great glory of calm has been sung. In the marriage of Shiv Parvati also, calm's support has to be taken in some way or the other. Yes, it was expected that there must be a transformed version of his, because whereas calm is the greatest motivator of world's creation, due to impulsion, disruption of boundaries of decency also keeps on taking place. Brahma is also caught in this dreadful power of his. Hence, what can be a better opportunity to take double benefit from this conflict? Conflict between calm and faith would become the cause for the well-being of the world in the end. The inactiveness of faith would be warded off and calm would get a new form. Hence, this act of Brahma was completely pre-planned. It is correct that Lord Shiv has agreed to accept Parvati on Lord Ram's order. Even then, he attains Samadhi. After Lord's darshan or sight, he becomes even more introvert and self-absorbed. What could be a more apt result of the Lord's darshan? But the world needs to take him out of this condition. Calm has been assigned this very job. Excitement has to be aroused in indivisible power. The heart of Lord Shiv, who is like a calm and tranquil ocean, has to be agitated, even if for just a moment, and he succeeds in this action of his in some or the other form. Before the encounter of calm and Shiv, Goswami ji has narrated in great detail the journey and power of calm. People feel it is a bit weird, especially those who are extremely principled. Goswami ji himself was not any less principled. Still, the description of this episode by him is in such words that it has become undignified in the eyes of some. I have no hesitation in saying that this viewpoint of criticism is very narrow. The minute narration of calm in its expedition is also needed so that we can view its nature in the correct form. It should be remembered that in the beginning of his journey, his statement and his motive gives it such a form that he acquires the shape of a hero. परहित लागी तजई जो देही संतत संत प्रशंसहि तेहि अस कहि चलेउ सबहि सिरुनाई सुमन धनुष कर सहित सहाय. This appearance of his in the expedition creates respect and sympathy towards him, and then, on being burnt by Shankar, it was natural for this question to arise in the heart of the reader as to why this behavior towards the person with such a pious motive and generous heart. Goswami Ji's this expedition description brings before us in such subtle words that phase of his where the rationale of the punishment given to him is justified. Despite starting off with a pious motive, he is not able to leave his disruptive nature. He loves the display of his power, and at that moment he uses it openly too. This is that very element of calm because of which all his merits are overshadowed. He doesn't use only that much of his power which is needed. Instead, in the display of his pride, he uses it exponentially. We can openly see this form of lust in the social life. It is not possible for calm to stay inside any boundary line. Then, along with the universe creation, it also creates many vices. Goswamiji has described the result of calm's expectation in these words. कोपेउ जबहि बारिचर केतु छन महु मिटे सकल श्रुति सेतु ब्रह्मचर्य व्रत संयम नाना धीरज धर्म ज्ञान विज्ञाना सदाचार जप जोग विरागा सभय विवेक कटकु सब भागा. In this manner, through him, that very job is done which is expected by the demons. Hence, this conflict between calm and Shiv creates a new emotion. After burning calm, reviving him back to life through the boon is a kind of art which is of utility to the society. As soon as Shankar's third eye opens, the world enchanting form of calm is converted to just a fistful of ash. In fact, this is calm's greatest art, that it takes the control over a person's mind through imaginary beauty. Or say it in another way, as a blind man would accept the most ugly person as the most beautiful one, hearing his description as thus. This exact same job is of calm. Through lust, it destroys our powers to see, think, and understand. And at that moment, we believe that thing to be in a beautiful form and become eager to possess it as per his wish. Goswamiji has presented this in a very beautiful manner in Vinay Patrika. Pleasures are condemned, still the attraction towards it is not lessened in a person's mind. because he experiences sweetness in pleasures. So, is this sweetness not real? Goswamiji, Goswamiji says, काम भुजंग डसत जब जाही विषय नींब कटु लगत न ताही. Goswamiji has explained the real nature of the sweetness of pleasures in these lines, taking the help of a popular belief. In the villages, if someone is bitten by a creature in the dark, and if it could not be found out which creature it was, if a snake has bitten him, to ascertain this, they give him neem leaf to eat. If the neem leaf tastes sweet, then it is confirmed that he is bitten by a snake only. Goswamiji says that the experience of this sweetness in the pleasures neem is the proof that he is bitten by the lust snake. The attack of काम blinds a person. Madan andh vyakul sab loka. But something else happened at Lord Shiv's place. There, as soon as a momentary excitement occurs, he looks in all the directions, opening his eyes to search for the cause. Even if there was a momentary agitation with the invasion of calm, but the one in whom the power to see is not lost even at that moment, eventually he attains victory over calm. In the end, this is that very message that Goswamiji gives us through this episode. Lord Shiv has a third eye too. Hence, as soon as it is present before the eye of wisdom, its impermanence clearly comes up to the fore. There is one more indication of utmost importance in the episode of Kam. There are two characters in Manas on whom attack of Kam takes place, Narad and Shiv. But the treatment towards Kam is of different nature in both. Where Lord Shiv burns Kam, being furious over him, then there only Narad doesn't express even the slightest anger on Kam. Instead, भयउ न नारद मन कछु रोषा कही प्रिय बचन काम परितोषा. Amongst both, whose behavior is appropriate towards calm? This is a question. From outer perspective, Narad's act appears more elevated. Narad himself, through this very rationale, felt superiority over Shiv in him after victory against Kam. Shiv is the victor of only Kam, and I am of both calm and anger. Believing this only, ego arose in him, but by earnestly pondering over it, the importance of Shankar's act can be understood immediately. This is the solution to the problem arising constantly in our life. We adopt the compromising attitude of outwardly life, which probably is expected for social behavior in our inner life too. But in fact, the truth is that we may not even be tolerant in our outwardly life, but we keep on maintaining a tolerant attitude towards our vices. What is the result? Vices get a complete chance to exhibit arbitrariness, and in this compromise, nothing else happens but the destruction of goodness and virtues. Goswamiji has expressed this problem in a very beautiful way through the relation between Ravan and Vibhishan. Ravan and Vibhishan, who are persons of two opposite mentalities, reside together in Lanka. Ravan is very intolerant in public view because he wants to destroy dharma completely. Hence, he opposes yajna, charity, worship, Ved, Puran, and all. Goswami ji mentions his atrocities in these words. नहीं हरि भगति यज्ञ तप ज्ञाना, सपने हो सुनिए न वेद पुराना। जप जोग बिरागा, तप मख भागा, श्रवण सुनई दस सीसा। आपुन उठी धावई रहे न पावई, धरी सब घालई खीसा। अस भ्रष्ट अचारा भा संसारा, धर्म सुनिए नहीं काना। तेहि बहुविधि त्रासई देश, निकासई जो कह वेद पुराना। But on the other hand, appears to be the personified form of tolerance in his own place. The house of his younger brother is just near his palace, and there is Lord's temple. 2. Tulsi plants and symbols of Ram's weapons too are there. Why? What is the reason for it? To understand this, we have to pay attention to that composition of Vinay Patrika in which Goswami ji has described the Ramayana going on in human mind. Vibhishan is considered as Jeev or being, and Ravan is considered as personification of delusion. मोह दश मौली तद्भ्रात अहंकार, पाकारिजित काम विश्राम हारी। जीव भव धंग्री सेवक विभीषण, बसत मध्य दुष्टा टवि ग्रसित चिंता। What can be a more realistic portrait of every person's life that both virtues and vices are living in his heart together? Vibhishan has satisfaction merely with the fact that Ravan is tolerant towards him and gives him the liberty to worship. But this situation is so unrealistic and unfortunate. It has so much false self-satisfaction, and he finds this out very late. The condition of Jeev is the same in life. He has the rule of delusion over him, but he is satisfied with few moments of worship, thinking that even this is sufficient, and his whole outer life is directed by the orders of delusion. This adjustment has to be eliminated. Jeev has to decide that this tolerance of vices is just a show off. The living together of both of them is unfortunate for society and the world. It is essential to be strict towards delusion. This false bond of brotherhood has to be broken. Only then the destruction of vices will take place, and Lord Ram's Ram Rajya or kingdom of love would be established. फरकत अधर कोप मन माही, सपदि चले कमलापति पाही। देहऊ श्राप की मरिहऊ जाई, जगत मोरी उपहास कराई। Mercy towards vices unknowingly becomes the cause of strictness towards virtues. If Narad doesn't act with anger upon Kam and deems it as his too big a success, then he develops anger on Ram. Shankar is the biggest master. He knows that mercy should not be shown over vices. He uses Vishay Vishmaushadham. The emotion of anger has no bigger utility that through it Kam is defeated. But the destruction of Kam created many problems. Those whose aim of life was only the search of absolute truth, this could be a boon to them. But the creation of the universe, what about it? It became a question. Kam has been destroyed, but Rati is alive, and she feels herself orphaned. It is essential for Rati to exist. This Rati is greatly needed for the devotees too. They oppose calm but not rati. What is their devotion? What is then devotion? Rati devoid of calm. Shri Bharat prays, Arat na dharam na kam ruchi, gati na chahu nirvan, janam janam rati ram pad, yah vardhan na an. Or what is the result of Ram Katha? यह रावणारि चरित पावन राम पद रति प्रद सदा कामादि हर विज्ञान कर सुर सिद्ध मुनि गावहि मुदा. He requests for rati devoid of calm because if uh, if it has calm, his Rampad Rati, love in the feet of Ram, would also become momentary. He wants unbroken, consistently nectarian Rati, which only has upsurge and no downsurge. This action is accomplished by Lord Shiv, but this is an impossible thing for the common people in public perception. Calm is not renounceable for them because other than falseness it also gives its upsurging power in the right inspiration. For them rati and calm are motivating for each other and fulfill each other. Rati herself is perturbed and distressed, hence another level of devotion is created, desirous devotion. Here only, after being burnt, he is revived as formless Anang, and to attain a physical form, the essential condition is to become Krishna's son. Being related to Lord Krishna, Kam bears a new form and is not even left as renounceable for the devotees. In this Madan Dahan, burning of calm, three levels are formed. Rati, devoid of calm, this is the highest form of devotion. And the second is Krishna related calm. This is desirous devotion. The third is formless calm, which is needed for the creation of the world. Calm in the end this battle of faith and calm presents before us the reality of calm, its vices and virtues, utility and uselessness, everything. Only after this, Brahma takes permission of marriage from Lord Shiv. Even then, Saptarishis are sent by Shiv to take the test of Parvati. What was the need of the test? Does Bhut Bhavan Shiv not have faith on Lord Ram's words? Its answer is no. Even then, by testing, it is essential to bring forth the real nature of reverence before the world. Chapter 3, Reverence and Penance ends.